we look at what I would say is a holographic world, that's like the projection on the movie screen. You ain't going to change that. How are you going to change a movie when it's hit the screen? It's a done deal. You have to go and find out where it's coming from, and that's in the realms of energy, the energetic fields from which this reality comes. And then you need to look at what is influencing the behavior of people, the perceptions of people which become the behavior, which become what we call human society. There's a distortion creating a distorted society. And so this quote that I used in a previous Dot Connecting show from a Central American shaman called Don Juan Matos is very, very relevant because of what I'll come to. He is talking about entities that they call in that part of the world flyers. In other parts of the world, they call them archons, they call them chitahuri, they call them jinn, and the Christians call them demons. These are distorted expressions of consciousness, which are expressions of the energetic distortion I'm talking about. And he said this about what these entities, i.e. expressions of distortion, did. In relation to human society. And he said this: think for a moment and tell me how you would explain the contradictions between the intelligence of man the engineer and the stupidity of his systems of belief, or the stupidity of his contradictory behavior. Sorcerers believe that the predators have given us our systems of beliefs, our ideas of good and evil, our social mores. They are the ones who set up our dreams of success or failure. They have given, here we go, back to that Native American legend or saying, they have given us covetousness, greed, and cowardice. It is the predator who makes us complacent, routinary, and egomaniacal by influencing our behavior, by pulling us into their frequency, on an electromagnetic level. In order to keep us obedient and meek and weak, the predators engage themselves in a stupendous maneuver. Stupendous, of course, from the point of view of a fighting strategist, a horrendous maneuver from the point of those who suffer it. They gave us their mind. And that is what happens when you fall into these low vibrational emotional states, which the society is set up to pull us into, all this austerity and all this struggle and all the challenges that people have, and what's the point, and it's pulling you into this low vibrational emotional state. They're doing it through various forms of radiation as well, which has gone up by millions in the atmosphere in the last 50 years. And so that's what they want to do. And I've said many times, you can try to find a solution to something, and we're drowning in them, and then they just lead to other problems. Or you can do the wise thing, which is to remove the cause of the problem. And the cause of the problem is we allow ourselves to be pulled emotionally into these low vibrational states and mentally into the five senses, which is another kind of stadium on which this distortion operates. And in doing that, we not only behave through distorted perception in ways that create the society that we have, we're actually feeding the distortion by creating more and more distorted energy collectively by our emotional states. So, simple things, people look at the world and they think the answers must be complex. They're not. It's ever so simple. We love each other. That's it. When you open your heart and get out of your head, you open your heart, and by doing that, not just the physical heart, opening this heart vortex, this heart chakra as they call them in the East, wheels of light, you are connecting to something much greater than the brain will ever connect to. It's inspiration, it's intuition, it is love in its true sense. A love so different to the love that we call actually attraction, that we have to give other names to it to emphasize the difference. One is unconditional love. I love you, end of story. Not I love you if, I love you when. I love you. That's it, end of story. And your problem is my problem. And your injustice is my injustice. Your unfairness is my unfairness. And when I see a situation where the fair thing is for you to get this and that, I am not going to go in and try to get this and that because I can by manipulating the situation. I say, fair and just thing to do is that we do that. And that love creates an energetic frequency so high compared with the distortion that never the twain shall meet. You stop being influenced by the distortion because you're not getting pulled into those low vibrational states which you're just trying to do to feed itself. And if we go through this process of opening the heart and doing what we know to be right and loving those that abuse us, doesn't mean you stand for it, doesn't mean you say, hey, I'm not having this, but you don't do it with hatred. You realize, forgive them for they know not what they do. You've got a beautiful landscape. Everything's calm, everything's balanced, and a tornado comes through it. That landscape ain't the same as the tornado goes through it. And our fabric, the fabric of our reality, has not been the same since this distortion, this schism came through it. And the schism is self-aware. And it can self-awarely manipulate and feed itself. And when you open your heart, you cease to feed it. Because Radio 1 can't connect with Radio 2, they're on different frequencies. The open-hearted, the unconditional love cannot connect with the distortion because they're so far away in frequency terms. They pass through each other just like radio frequencies do. This is the answer.
Effectively.
We don't have to fight for anything. If we fight, then we create a war of some level, whether it's a personal war or it's a collective war. We need to fight for anything. We need to stop fighting. Stop fighting for justice. Stop fighting for peace. Stop fighting for everything and start being justice, being peace, being fairness, being love. And if you imagine, mate, I mean, people say it's not that simple. Hold on. What if vast, vast numbers of people, far more than ever are now, interacted with each other on that basis? The world would change, because the world is not some external thing, external from us. The world that we experience is the collective outcome of human perception and thus human behavior. And we have got into this situation now with human society because humans have had their perception manipulated. They've been pulled into me, and all these things, if I can find it again, these things in this Native American legend. Anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, ego, all these things and many more. We have got pulled into those states, and they express themselves in human interaction to create expressions of themselves in human society. And if we did that, and we went for joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion.
Fantastic.
We would live in that world. So, like I say, all the people that hurl abuse at me, and there's lots that are very, very kind, but all those people that hurl abuse at me, forgive them for they know not what they do, because the system has them, because the distortion has them.
You must be the change. Human race. Get off your knees. The lion sleeps no more. I am love. Love each other. If you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna have to kiss you. I love you.
If we want a world of peace, then we need to be peaceful. We don't need to fight for it. We just need to be peaceful, and we'll bring that about. If we want a world of kindness, we need to be kind, and then it will naturally unfold.
Love each other. Love each other. I love you. Love being with you.
The only thing that doesn't change is infinite love is the only truth. And we got the opportunity now to see some of the challenges that are coming in terms not of, oh, it's so terrible, but hey, the old paradigm's breaking down, and we've got now the opportunity to go with a new one. Just when, it's an old proverb, just when the caterpillar thought life was over, it became a butterfly.
Love each other. I love you. Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is illusion.
There's only one thing you really need to know. Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is illusion.